The rain in Spain stays mainly in the...
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.
Day 20, first day of walking after a rest day, see how the body feels. 21 kilometres from Burgos to Hornillos. We came across a marker fairly early on in our walk today, and it was at 501 kilometres, and we got a little bit excited and took a photo because we started at 790 kilometres in St. John, and so we were just about to tick into the 400s, so that was pretty exciting. And some people were walking past, and I said, we're about to go into the 400s, and they were from France, and they were very polite, but having a conversation with them, they hadn't started in St. John. They had started in the middle of France. So they were up about the 1,000-kilometre mark, and we were celebrating going from a little over 290 kilometres. Later on, we had lunch, and once again having a conversation with a lady about where she had started, and she had started in Belgium. And last year she had walked from Belgium to Pamplona. And so this time she had started in Pamplona and she was going to walk to Santiago. Now, the two people from France, they would have been a bit younger than us. The people from Belgium, they would have been older. Just goes to show you, these huge distances can be achieved bit by bit each day. Today we move out of the first section into the second section, the second third. So this section is, I suppose, a test of the mind, as the first section was a test of the body. And in the second section, we walk through the meseta. And I'm still not fully sure what is to be expected in the meseta, but from what we understand, the scenery doesn't change a whole lot. Long paths through the wheat fields, the cereal fields, really a cereal bowl of Spain. It can be really hot and dry on the meseta. We're obviously walking at the beginning of spring. Today was blue skies, sunny, still cool, but it was the sun was really nice. You could see how it could get very hot and dry in the summer, particularly if there's not a whole lot of rain around. There's not a whole lot of shade in the meseta. For us today, it didn't really kick in until after lunch, so we only had a couple of hours. But we'll see how the next 8 days go, because including today, it's a 9-day stretch of about 20 kilometres each day to get us through our next rest stop, which is Lyon. One of the highlights today is that we went through a small little village called Rabe de la Calzadas, and there's a little stone church there, and a religious sister ran out and directed us inside the church, and she was very excited to have us there and wanted to know where we were from. And then she blessed us and presented us with a little medal to wear around our necks for the journey as a protection, and I suppose a sign of the religious links of this Camino as well. But that was exciting. We'd seen this church and this religious sister on some of the YouTube clips, and we know that she likes to bless all the pilgrims as they go past, and even known to leave the church and sort of get out there on the trail as well. So that was a nice thing today. But yeah, the 21 kilometres after a rest day, that was fine. The only thing was, the toes on my right foot after a rest day decided not to cooperate today at all. They were just coming sort of back underneath each other and irritating each other. But we are carrying something called hiker's wool, which I think is just merino wool from the merino sheep. And you use it to sort of pack in between your foot and the sock if you're getting a hot spot, or, to prevent any irritations in the socks. And I tried it today for the first time, sort of jammed it between the toes, and it worked. I put it in after about 1 or 2 kilometres and didn't have any issues for the remainder of the day. The end of the day was this beautiful descent. you sort of been rolling through this never-ending path, eventually trying to get to the end of it, over the next ridge, over the next ridge, over the next ridge, and then eventually you get to this descent, and there's this green metal chair up the top. It's got the name of the town or the village that you're approaching, and then it's quite a steep descent, and probably about a 20-25 minute walk then into the village. So we got here in good time. Yeah, that's the first day of this 9-day stretch as we head to Lyon towards our next rest day.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.